Okay, I see by the clock on the wall, it's 3 o'clock. I want to call to order the Board of Directors' regular meeting for Monday, May 16th. And would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Place your hand over your heart and salute our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nancy, do you want to do a little invocation?
Yes, I do. Okay, we ask the Heavenly Father in thy infinite wisdom to guide the members of this board in such a way that all their thoughts, endeavors, and decisions will be made for the betterment of this entire community. We also beseech thee to protect our country and our people from all conflicts, both foreign and domestic.
Please remain standing. I'd like to have a moment of silence for the 10 citizens who are shopping at a market in Buffalo, New York, and were shot to death by a crazed gunman. It's unfortunate those things happen in our country, but please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Have a roll call, please.
Director Grasha,
Here.
Director Sewell,
Here.
Director Duncan,
Here.
Vice President Wright,
Here.
President Martin.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Okay. Rules of procedure, Counselor.
Yes, according to the rules of procedure adopted by the Board of Directors, all noticed meetings are conducted using Rosenberg's Rules of Order as a procedural guideline. Directors should refrain from responding directly to public comments at meetings of the board. The president is responsible for maintenance of order and decorum at all board meetings. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the president. No member of the board should speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member of the board wishing to speak on the subject shall have been given an opportunity to speak. No board member shall interfere with the orderly progress of a board meeting. The board president regulates the amount of time to be dedicated to a particular agenda item.
Thank you. Item 5, public input. This is the opportunity for members of the public to address the board on matters within the board's jurisdiction. Please limit comments to 3 minutes or less. State law prohibits the board from discussing or taking action on any item not listed on the agenda. Do we have any members of the public wanting to address the board, Dory?
I just had somebody join just a moment ago. iPad guest, if you can hear us, are you here to make public comment or are you just observing? They don't appear to have any audio. President Martin, there is no public comment.
Okay. Moving on to item 6, human resources report.
Well, great. It's again, that time when we get to give you an update on what's happening with the employees. It's always a pleasure to get to go over these employees individually and recognize them. And we have some very special ones today. We don't have any new hires. Usually we've had those lately, but we do have 5 anniversaries, special ones, and they represent 71 years of experience with the district. So we can be proud of that. First on the list here is Jason WEEKLEY, lead field operations technician, always a good person. I get to visit with Jason now and then. He's an excellent technician and a valued member of the construction and maintenance team. And he's very reliable. And especially during, the business hours and after hours, he's polite and courteous and he's fun to talk to. He's always willing to help, and whatever the situation is, he continues to improve his knowledge and help us with the district's water system. Here to introduce him and talk about him is our one and only Jeff Nutter.
Thank you, Arden. Good afternoon. Yeah, like Arden was saying, Jason's been with us for now 2 years, and he's one of those employees who has really taken a lot of big strides. Put a lot of pressure on him when he became the lead field operation technician, but he's taken it very well, and I'm very impressed with his progress and the knowledge and the help he does with the rest of the crew. He can be called any time of the day, any time of the night, and he'll answer and he'll come in and help out with whatever he can. He's a hands-on guy. We rely on him for many things, and all of his hard work and dedication is very appreciated, especially by me. So thank you for everything you do, Jason.
Did Jason want to say anything? Sometimes I don't know, but I always ask.
Yes, Arden. I just want to say thank you to everybody. The 2 years has been a flash. It's happened so fast. And I just want to thank Jeff and Alex, my other lead, and the rest of my peers and my colleagues for taking the opportunity to teach me everything. And I keep learning from them as they learn from me, and you never stop learning. And I want to continue to become a more valuable asset for Mission Springs Water District as time moves forward. Thank you.
And thanks, Jason, for being a part of our team. You're a great addition. Next is somebody I talk to every day. I can't believe it's been 6 years, and but we get to honor somebody that takes care of those customers day in and day out. And not only that, but she is currently is a CSR level 1. However, she is filling in as a CSR level 2 on an interim basis, which I'm sure she'll be achieving before long. She's definitely an integral part of our customer service. I talk to Ann every day. It's so much fun. And she's quite an interesting person. She came to us with a lot of experience from Southern Cal Edison, and has provided us with ideas and how we can improve in the process ourselves. Known as always remaining calm, and she always strives to her best to help the customers. I listen to her on the phone talking to customers, and she is so genuinely good with the customer. And you just can't believe what an attribute that is, because these people talk to people every day, and some of them aren't quite as happy as they should be. Okay. With that said, April, do you have some nice words you would like to say about Ann?
Thank you, General Manager Wellham. Good afternoon, President Martin and members of the board. Ann, she is just so reliable, friendly, caring. I really honestly could not say enough nice things about Ann. She has built relationships within the community, as all of our customer service staff does over the years. But Ann, she always strives to accommodate the customer and do everything in her power to assist and make sure there's resolution. And we greatly appreciate Ann every day. Oh, and Ann declined to speak today.
Ann has? She's probably talked herself out during the day
I
already.
think customer service takes every chance they can to have a little silence.
All right. Well, we love having Ann here. She's another one of those employees that has really made an improvement for the district. Okay, with that, then next, we are honoring purchasing and warehouse specialist, Robert Lopez. He's a valuable employee, and his peers, everyone I know just respects Robert. Now, he does have one fault. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan, but we won't hold that against him. But he's so nice to visit with during the day. He's a good listener. He's often sought out by everybody. He's really quite helpful every time we need something. His goal is to make everybody's job easier, and he's always trying to help people. And he gets things done, and for that I really appreciate it. But one thing I want to mention is that the thing that I respect so much from Robert is his love for his family. It's genuine. I gotta see pictures of his kid and him hugging his kids. And it is so good to have that stability and that quality of person working for this district. With that said, Mr. Brian Hendry is going to say a few words about Robert.
Thank you, General Manager Wallem and President Martin and distinguished members of the board. Robert has been with the district 16 years. He told me to pass on that he's very grateful for all the opportunities that the district has provided to him and his family. I know he has 2 children. He's been married for 23 years, been with his wife for 27 years. So I think commitment is something that Robert's all about. And when I look at the core values and I, just read down the list, accountability, respect, integrity, Robert has all of those in spades. But what impresses me the most is his servant attitude. He's so motivated by wanting to make sure that everybody at the district has what they need to do their job in a timely manner. And I'm very impressed with that, Robert, and I look up to you for that. Thank you. He's not going to speak.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. And again, a long-lasting employee that I hired. So I'm pretty proud of that. With that said, thank you. And another employee that I hired just after I got here is someone I also enjoy talking to. And we're honoring the Field Service Representative 2, David PENA. He's 17 years with the district. He was one of my first hires, and I light up every time I do see him in the hall and get to visit with him. He's so friendly. He's the exact person you want to be out there in the field, servicing and being there in the field with the customer. He has a great attitude. He's willing to share. He makes jokes. That's what we like. He makes his coworkers smile. He's easy to work with. He's built a very positive relationship with many of the customers, and we've received many compliments from the customers who he's interacted with. He's always so willing to help them out. Again, a very high quality person that's just been a great employee for 17 years. And with that said, April, I'll let you expand on that somewhat.
Thank you again, General Manager Wallem and President Martin, members of the board. David has been wonderful to work with. He really, truly knows this community, knows the area, works diligently to make sure that he gets to the customers, especially for a reconnection. Anything he can do to help our customers, he goes the extra mile. We've received phone calls, emails, handwritten cards, thanking David for his customer service that he provided people in the community. And he truly cares. And you're right. He's a wonderful asset to the district and exactly who we would want out there, interacting with our customers on a daily basis. And we really appreciate David and his work. He also did decline to speak. He is in the field right now and does not have audio capability at this moment, but he did want to thank everybody.
And he's usually not without words, so I know he would have been here if he could have. Thanks, David. Tell him thanks. Okay, April.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, we did save a very special person for the last one today. I wrote some of these things down, then I realized that they were written down for me. That is, we're here today to honor the longest lasting tenured person in our district, Nancy MEZQUITA, who's been here for 30 years. And boy, we've seen a lot of things together here in in this district. She has experience in almost every aspect of the department. She's worked different jobs throughout this 30-year career and has built relationships with many of the customers. She's been a part of the evolution of the district. And yet she has remained open to change throughout the years. Nancy's always had a good spirit and a positive attitude. She's very supportive and is always willing to help coworkers. She's usually working on almost every aspect of customer service that you can think of. But I think the thing that in knowing Nancy, there were a number of years there, and she doesn't anymore, but she actually worked at Penny's on the weekends sometimes. And that says a lot about a person that would work two jobs and be such a, and with her work ethic, as you can see at work too, it's just an honor to have somebody like that working for Mission Springs Water District. And I can tell you something right now. I really have appreciated Nancy and all of the work she's done. And I talk again, like most of the customer service people, I visit with Nancy every day. I've usually try to find out what she's up to, but she's a pretty quiet person. So with that said, the customer service manager, April Scott, would like to make a comment, I'm sure.
Thank you again, General Manager Wallen, President Martin, and members of the board. You'll be sick of me after this, I'm sure. Nancy has just, her commitment level is beyond anything I've seen. She is dedicated, loyal, comes to work every day with a smile and ready to work. She is motivated, and with all the changes we've made in our department and constant changes in our technology and new ideas and changes, she always gives her input, but she keeps a positive mindset and kind of rolls with it. And, you know, she's just that person everyone can go to, and she will be supportive and answer questions and show what she knows. And I can't even say enough nice things about Nancy. We're grateful for her. Her dedication is very appreciated. And I love working with her every day. I look forward to it. Thank you, Nancy, for all of your hard work and dedication. We all appreciate you. And she also declined to speak. If anyone knows Nancy, she is fantastic with our customers, but does not like to get up in front of a crowd, essentially. So,
Oh, here, I was going to tell her that she only had 20 minutes to give a speech.
she would hang
Just
out.
kidding.
She does want to say thank you to everyone and the board and the staff of Mission Springs. She really loves her job.
Tell Nancy we appreciate her. So thank you. And I have one more person here that has actually been a pretty special person. When we're trying to get people into the wastewater field, and that is our grade 2 wastewater treatment plant operator, David Weaver. He's completed his grade 2 wastewater treatment plant operation certification. It was administered by the state board, and the certification of wastewater operators helps ensure that they're knowledgeable and that the treatment plants are currently operated and maintained. And he does a lot of our collection work right now. Grade 2 certification covers topics related to the primary treatment, biofiltration, modified treatment ponds, and I'm sure a number of other things. David is a valued team member who's always serving and striving for success. Now that he's passed his grade 2, David can and is steadily preparing for his grade 3 already. We really wanted this guy, and we worked hard to get him, and he's turned out to be a great employee. Our chief plant operator, Lee Boyer, is here to make a few comments.
Thank you, General Manager Wall. Good afternoon, President Martin, members of the board. Yeah, David, he's my collections lead, which means he spends most of the time out in the field doing the collections maintenance, CCTVs, cleaning sewer lines, but he saw the need that we needed help in the plant, and to legally work in the plant, you needed an operator certificate. So he started out as an OIT, and he just recently passed his grade 2, and he's gonna go for his grade 3 and possibly his grade 4. So, David, I love having you on staff and helping out the plant. We just had somebody recently leave, and actually David's gonna start taking over standby duties to fill the gap until we can fill the position. So, David, would you like to say anything?
I'd just like to say thank you to Arden and to the president of the board and all the board members, and just thank you for the opportunity to work here for this organization. It's a great place, and I look forward to working here a long time.
Thank you, David. We enjoy having you here, so let's just keep making improvements. Thank you very, very much. That concludes our HR report. So the board and I generally appreciate each and every one of these employees and commend them for their dedication and commitment to the customers we serve. Let's take this district from good to great. Thank you.
Thank you, Arden, and thank you to the people who were honored here today. It's awesome. Moving on to item 7. Resolution 2022-07, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Mission Springs Water District proclaiming a local emergency persists, re-ratifying the proclamation of a state of emergency by Executive Order NORA 0921, and reauthorizing remote teleconference meetings of the legislative bodies of the Mission Springs Water District for the period May 24th, 2022 through June 22nd, 2022. Pursuant to the provisions of the Ralph M. Brown Act. Are there any questions or comments concerning this item on the agenda? Nancy? Randy?
No, thank you.
Steve?
Sorry, no comments. Thank you.
Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
Move the item.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item 8, professional engineering services contract for TKE Engineering, Inc. It is recommended to authorize the general manager to execute an agreement with TKE Engineering, Inc. on an as-needed basis for a period of 1 year and not to exceed an amount of $250,000. Is there anything further on that item, Arden?
Well, we do, Brian is going to did some research for a question that we had on Thursday, and he's going to answer that question and provide you with some additional information.
Thank you, General Manager. President Martin, I believe, I don't want to paraphrase incorrectly, so if I do paraphrase it, the question inaccurately, Director Grasha, please correct me, but I believe the question was, how much have we spent with TKE under this contract in the past? What I do have for you today, or would present to you, is what we've spent this fiscal year, which is about $129,000 for general engineering services. And in 2021, last fiscal year, it was $186,000.
Okay.
There are multiple contracts, as I understand it. Is that right?
That is correct. This particular as needed services was part of a request for qualifications. TKE and several other engineers got it. This particular one is specific to some of the things that TKE provides for us and has for over a decade related to attending regional meetings, things of that nature. There are other contracts that they have. Many of those were given to them through a fee/request for proposal process.
Most of them were taken to the board.
And those projects were taken to the board. One of the ones, just for example, would have been most recently the construction and management services for the regional plant. That project was out competitively bid. They were selected on qualifications, and then we started looking at price. So typically when the project gets larger or it's something outside of the general services, we'll go through a different process to make sure that we're getting the best price for the district.
Yeah. Generally, these things would circulate through the committee structure of a board, but because this board refuses to honor those obligations, as other agencies are happy to do, we end up here with multiple contracts going to the same company, with, actual questionable expenditures that can't really be tracked because the agency won't turn over public documents to elected directors. So it's a problem for me, and it's a problem for this board, and it undermines the trust and credibility of this agency with the people that elect us. Thank you.
Well, that's your
Yes.
opinion.
All of this is available to
It's
anyone
all
that wants to
available. I
see
know
it.
that's Somebody's opinion. That's all it is.
Yep.
It's not the
Yeah.
truth.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to authorize the general manager to amend the contract agreement as stated in the item. Is there a motion to approve or authorize the general
moved.
manager to do so?
I'll move the motion.
So.
Okay,
yeah,
and
I'll
is,
second it. Did he?
yes,
second.
Director Duncan make the motion and Vice President Wright seconded it. You have a roll call vote, please.
Director Grasha,
No.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Wright,
Aye.
President Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to item 9, First Amendment to Contract Agreement with B as in boy -81 Paving, Inc. for pavement repairs for water and sewer projects for 2021-2022. It is recommended authorize the general manager to amend the contract agreement with B81 Incorporated titled pavement repairs for water and sewer projects for 2021-2022. The amendment would increase the contract amount $50,000 from $150,000 to a not to exceed amount of $200,000 and authorize the general manager to do all things necessary to complete the project.
I
General
don't
Manager
have
Wall.
I don't have anything to add. I think we answered some questions last Thursday, and so I don't think we have anything additional to tell you today.
Anything from the board? Ivan? Nancy?
No, but I'll make a motion to approve number 9, is it?
Okay, Vice President Wright made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, and Director Duncan seconded it. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Director Grasha,
No.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Wright,
Aye.
President Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to discussion items. Item 10, Mission Springs Water District Regional Water Reclamation Facility update. Is there anything new on that issue?
I don't have anything, and Steve didn't tell me that he had anything, so I don't believe there's anything.
Steve Ledbetter.
Steve Ledbetter, excuse me. Yes,
General Manager, if I may.
Yeah. sure.
Good afternoon, President Martin, members of the board. As noted in my presentation last week, we were working on getting the construction camera up and running. So I just wanted to take a brief minute to show that to you all to let you know. Just trying to find the window. Bear with me. So we will now have access to this at the staff level, and we can work on getting access to different members of the team. But as you can see, we do have the construction camera up and running. You can see that the excavator is currently working on digging down not just the tank area for the SBR tanks, but that's actually digging down to the plant drain pump station. So this is the deepest portion of the treatment plant itself, where all components of the treatment plant can drain down into this pit at some point in time. Have a little technical difficulty, but as you can see, it's just got up and running. So I just wanted to at least share that with the board and hope to bring some better content in the months and weeks coming forward so that we can share that with the public and document this, large construction process and, big project for the district. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
No, good idea, though.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Director Duncan, any questions, comments?
No, sir. Thank you.
Director Grasha?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, item 11, Critical Services Center and Administrative Building Update. I imagine Mr. Ledbetter is going to take that too, or,
No.
oh, okay, all right,
We're fine. We don't have anything additional to add.
okay.
Said nothing new to report.
All right, were there any questions or comments from the board on this issue? No, I don't.
Just
Yeah.
a passing thought that last, at the work session, we had a report from the Assistant General Manager that raised more questions than it answered. And at some point, I think we should spend some time kind of taking a good hard look at what it was he was referring to so that we all understand what the real issues are that he raised and so that nobody's misunderstanding.
We'll get back to the board when we have something from the architect.
Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. We have two items on the consent agenda, the approval of minutes from April 14th, 2022, which is a study session, April 18th, 2022, which is a board meeting. And we also have item 13, register of demands. Register of demands totaling $1,492,447.99. Are there any questions or comments, corrections on those two items from the board? Nancy, anything?
No.
Ivan? Randy, any corrections at all?
No, thank you.
Director Grasha, any corrections or additions?
No questions, no changes. Thank you.
Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those, let's do a roll call vote on that.
Director Grasha,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Wright,
Aye.
President Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to item 14. Director's reports. This is the opportunity for board members to give a brief report on the meetings attended for which a daily stipend was claimed, and those meetings of interest where no daily stipend was claimed. Director Duncan already presented his. I believe, Nancy, you did yours, or do you have?
No, I don't really have any for the month, but I would, I'll do the JPIA meeting that I went to at Aqua. I have some notes on that. I can.
That's actually was in May, but that's all right.
It was this month. I can wait till next month.
It's up to you.
Well, it's just a few things. I think I'll get it out of the
Okay,
way.
all
I
right.
did attend the Joint Powers Insurance Authority, JPIA, for Aqua at the Aqua Conference. Just a few things. We did vote for a new board member for JPIA, Chris Capahine. He is from the Central Valley, which now allows the Central Valley to have a representative on the Joint Powers Authority Board of Directors. There hadn't been anybody from Central Valley on there. There was two new members for the insurance company. Atwell Island Water District and Tri-District Water District were the two. The executive director, Dave Egerton from Aqua, came and he talked about the stage 2 drought, the new foundation for equity that Aqua board members have put together, update on the bylaws of Aqua, and the public outreach campaign he talked about, which is a campaign about the awareness about it building infrastructure, the necessary need for infrastructure. So Aqua has a big outreach campaign program that they're working on. So when we spend all this money on investment on infrastructure, everybody has a good idea of why it's necessary. It's going to be an all California type, well, all of California campaign. Also, let's see, JPIA is an independent financial audit, came out very good with a unanimous vote to approve the audit report. They also are having an on-the-road show. JPIA is going around to different districts, and they're going to be talking about hiring and retention of employees. They found out through COVID and whatnot that this is becoming kind of an issue with a lot of districts. The leadership essentials of the work industry. They talked somewhat about that. What was said was do not focus on weaknesses, but on strengths when you talk about some of these programs. COVID, well, okay, for as far as an insurance company goes and our insurance premiums and whatnot, COVID did not impact the market very much. Or the insurance market very much. What has really impacted the insurance market is the hurricane season. Of course, the wildfires here in California really has stressed the system. The unknown is now the new thing, which is cybersecurity, that the insurance companies, they don't know how to calculate the risk for cybersecurity right now. So they're kind of figuring out how to do that and what can they charge or what should they charge for that risk. The bottom line is JPIA is in really good shape as far as an insurance company goes, and agencies like ourselves that are in all of the programs, I believe there's 4 of them, workman's comp, liability, property, and I don't think there's another one. Anyway, we've been in that for many years, and over the years, it has basically saved us money. If we'd gone out to other agencies, it would have cost more, mainly because workman's comp is such a good price that we've gotten workman's comp price really good for several years now. So, and that's it.
Okay. And Ivan, I believe you said you didn't have anything. Is that correct?
Right, but if you don't mind me jumping forward a month,
Go
I
ahead.
could report on Aqua since I most likely won't be able to next month.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So May 3rd through 5th, attended Aqua Spring Conference. This is the second Aqua I've attended since they've gone back live since COVID. And I think they're kind of getting a lot more back on track. Was still a bit shorter and less breakouts than beforehand, but overall, I thought it was a good conference. A lot of the talk was really about the drought and drought contingency plans. So some of the breakout sessions I did were outside of that. One was a cybersecurity breakout session, which was pretty doom and gloom, but one of their main things that they were really pushing was to make sure that every district had multi-factor authentication. So I'm glad that that's something that we have, and a lot of the other things they mentioned, I know we're working on. So that was a good thing. And then the communications breakout I attended, one big push was on how to increase engagement. And one of their examples was having a customer portal. And here we are introducing our customer portal this month. So might not have been too much new information, but it's always comforting to see that a lot of the things that Aqua is suggesting we're already on top of. So thank you to the staff. That's all I have.
Okay. And Director Duncan, I believe you gave your report on Thursday.
Yes, I
Steve,
did.
I don't show you attending any meetings on here. So do you have something you want to report on a meeting you attended? Okay, I guess not. I'll go ahead and do mine then. On the 5th of April, attended a city council meeting, public hearing number 4 on the transition from at-large elections to elections by district. Map 1.1 was selected, and that was the final hearing on that issue. On 4/6 and 4/7, I attended 2 Desert Valley Builders Association meetings. One was networking night, and the other was Desert Valley Builders Legislative meeting. Both were well attended, and some good information came out of it. On the 12th, Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting. They celebrated National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and there were 5 public hearings. All of the issues before the public hearings were passed. On the 19th, Desert Hot Springs City Council meeting, presentation on AB 481 sets a requirement of governing boards for oversight of military equipment for police use and protecting the public and responding officers. Military use ordinance was approved. There was a long discussion over the purchase of a quint, and I had never heard that term before, which is a fire truck, at the cost of $2 million for the one fire truck. Additionally, there was a presentation on the paramedic vehicle for $325,000. So those two very pricey pieces of equipment, but I'll have to take their word for it that it was a needed expenditure. There's also the presentation on solid waste fee increasing. And on the 14th, I sat in for Supervisor Hewitt on the Coachella Valley Chamber Conservation Commission. and the Energy and Environment Committee. There was some discussion on Willow Hole in Desert Hot Springs concerning tamarisk tree removal. And the Coachella Valley Multi-Species Habitat Plan update. So far to date, there's been 100,000 acres conserved, and 5 additional parcels were purchased during this meeting. On 4/23, attended Cabot's Earth Day celebration, and that was a very nice, neat event, and Water District staff did a good job at setting up a booth there. 4/27, Agua Caliente Tribal Water Authority Board meeting. I took my seat on the board there. And Steve Reich gave a presentation on the groundwater conditions report. Also, there was a well permit application presentation at Indian Canyon Golf Resort. And there were 2 groundwater production modifications requests from Desert Princess and Bel Air Gardens. And that concludes my report on the meetings I attended. Okay. We'll get back to the agenda here. Moving on to item 15, General Manager's Report.
Nothing new to report.
Okay, and that nothing new on the financial report or the public affairs report, correct?
I don't believe so, yes.
Okay. Item 16, District Council comments.
Yes, so we will go into closed session today, back on item number 18, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1, case number 200-3782, and that's George Padilla and Sharon Marino versus Mission Springs Water District.
Okay. Moving on to item 17, Director's comments. Director Grasha.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank staff. We had a report from a citizen of a leak that was pretty serious down around Indian and the freeway, and staff got on that. And I think it's probably set a record for the shortest length of time to get a repair made. And I want to thank them wholeheartedly for the work that they did there. I've attended a couple of meetings, one with the Painted Hills and the Whitewater community groups regarding addressing how water quality issues affect them disproportionately because of certain things, and explain to them why it's important that they make sure that the people that they vote for are people that are affected just like they are. We've got, directors from La Jolla now, we've got directors from Scottsdale and now Prescott. And it's important that this community understand that if they don't vote for people that actually live here and suffer the same consequences of the actions of this board, that their problems will never be mitigated, ever. And so with that, I thank you for your time.
Okay. Director Duncan, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to double check. I've got a couple items on my schedule here. First one being next Monday, HR committee meeting, 1 o'clock.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a board workshop, not an HR committee meeting.
Okay, board workshop. Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
And then Tuesday, the 31st is a budget workshop at 1 o'clock.
No, sir, that date has not yet been determined.
Oh,
We're still reviewing the results of the doodle poll that we sent out.
oh, it must have sent back my availability instead of a confirmation. All right, I'll put a question mark by that one. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Director Sewell. Vice President Wright.
Well, I probably shouldn't, but I would say, I think I will. I just would like to have if complaints come out about the district or about board members or about anything about this district, I would really appreciate some proof or something other than just some rant and raves at a at a board meeting. It's very inappropriate, I think, for people to just blurt out lies at a board meeting. They don't have any proof. They don't know what they're talking about. I've never experienced anything quite like this at another board, any other of the boards I have, and never on this board. After 34 years of being on this board, I've never had to deal with situations like this where a board member comes out and says ridiculous things at a board meeting, things that are not true about people at this on this district and about this whole board, and trying to bring down the name of a really good organization that's probably the best political organization in this whole area. And so it just really hurts my heart when I see somebody trying to pull it down for no good reason at all, just to lie. It's just remarkable. So I really appreciate some proof on allegations that are put out there by people on this board. It's just awful. It's ridiculous.
Okay. And I would echo those sentiments.
Sir, if I could just.
No, you can't. Your time has expired. Your time has expired. You can't respond. Okay. With that, we will go into a closed session.
Welcome back.
Okay. Go ahead, JP.
Yes, the board met in closed session, item number 18. That was a conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1, case number RIC 2003782, George Padilla and Sharon Marino versus Mission Springs Water District. No reportable action at this time.
Thank you.
And with that, the meeting is adjourned.